Yes, commentary ya. Late August, 3 weeks later, a return to Boomerang in the championship concludes its 9th and 10th round at Ningbo Speed Park in China, and that will come in the middle of October. Of course, for the drivers lucky enough, like Max Hart, to actually get the nod, they will compete at Macau in what is a fantastic event that will come in the middle of November. Max Hart, of course, having won a race there 12 months ago, or probably 6 months ago now. As Zhendong comes across the line, or he's coming into the final corner, carries plenty of pace in at Elantra, and is exactly what has been the pace for this championship this year, because we've got a solitary Honda, a solitary Audi RS3 LMS TCR, and the return of Douglas Koo, the former TCR Cup winner in TCR Malaysia, who is entered in his Cupra TCR, of course doing a lot more GT competition these days. There's Budianto. We're talking about the JVS Group Audi RS3 LMS TCR. And the history of TCR Asia also includes the very first global win for the LMS TCR. And that came in about 2017 at Zhuhai Circuit for then teenager Jasper Tong from Hong Kong, younger brother of Sean Tong, for the Phoenix Racing operation. There's been a lot more since then. We were talking about Douglas Koo. Dramas for him yesterday. Brought the car out of mothballs. Hadn't been in a TCR effectively since he won TCR Cup and TCR Malaysia back in 2020. Of course, has the cars, loves the Cupra, and brought that out of mothballs, put it back on track, and unfortunately for the Viper Nisa operation, they faced a gearbox issue. The clock's now down to 0, so the teams are locked in. There is your finishing order. I'm sure Douglas has gone out just to maybe run a couple of things in, as we go now into a 5-minute break for teams to prepare for the important part of qualifying, which is the second session, the top 8. And of course, for the second race, we see that top 8 inverted. So the 8th place finisher in the second leg of qualifying will start from pole position in Sunday midday's second race, or round 4 of the championship. Cars back out on track. There is who has been the pace. He's currently the pace. He is the fastest of the 2024 TCR Asia Series drivers. That, of course, is the Chinese driver, Zheng Dongzhang. Teammate to Max Hart, championship points leader, not much in that championship hunt. And of course, the third member, livery-wise at the very least, in that team, in the third of the Hyundai N by Z Speed entries, is Dayan Wang, who again will start from the rear of field in this afternoon's first race, due to the fact that he had an engine change overnight. And whilst he will be back to form, and we saw plenty of form from him in round 2 of the championship a month ago, started from pole position, finished race 2 in front of his 2 teammates who fought tooth and nail across the 10-lap journey. Unfortunately for him, he was handed a 30-second post-race penalty for being outside of his starting box on the grid, having started on the front row. Had suffered a little bit during qualifying. He was right there in the first leg of qualifying. Second leg, unfortunately, had dramas and was unable to find the form that he needed. And he was out. Now, qualifying number 1 is done. On to qualifying leg number 2, assuming we're all still good. So as things stand now, it is Zheng Dongzhang on the top spot with a 2:17.4. His teammate Max Hart with a 2:17.6. Not much in that. Max Hart will be comfortable with that position. Dayan Wang, who we were just talking about, a 2:17.63. He's 3/100 slower than Max Hart, and only a quarter of a second off the top spot. Then it's Umar Abdullah in the Delta Garage Racing Honda Civic FL5 TCR in position number 4. Of course, he is another of the outright runners in 0.8 of a second off the top spot. So he's got a little bit of work to do. Was quite strong during first practice yesterday. Finished the session only 0.2 behind Zhang, was the second fastest driver. So for the Delta Garage team, there are a lot of smiles and happy faces come yesterday afternoon, but they've got a little bit more work to do in this second leg of qualifying. But again, the first 20-minute session is just to get you into the second session, and that 10 minutes is vitally important. Benny Santoso, who's been very impressive so far, the Indonesian driver, also a member of the Hyundai N by Z Speed operation, took the win in TCR Cup in the second round last time here at Sepang. He has the top spot for the Cup entries, and an impressive lap time too, a 2:18.6. So he's only 1.2 seconds off the top spot. Woody Anto in that beautiful red, white and black JBS Group Racing Audi RS3 LMS, a 2:19.2 second in Cup. Third, and leading a trio of Z Speed Motorsport entries, is Nan Young. Qiren Liu is in position number 3 position number 2. I'm getting tongue twisted here trying to keep up with everything. Fourth in TCR Cup, second of the Z Speed Motorsport entries, and 8th overall, 2:19.7. So he's only mere hundredths of his teammate Nan Young. And then Haoji Liang in the third of the entries, the number 97 entry, also a Chinese driver, is, he's only 0.2 off Yu. So very close in that battle, the inter-team battle for the Z Speed Motorsport entry. They cover positions 3 through 5 in TCR Cup. And unfortunately for Douglas Q, he is further back in the order in his Cupra TCR with the sequential shift. Of course, he was one of the very first to adopt the Seat Leon when it was in its early formative years, and then upgraded to the Cupra TCR. So certainly enjoys that mark. And as we say, is doing a lot of GT racing in this part of the world as things stand at the moment. So we look at the beautiful Sepang Circuit. First opened all the way back in March 1999. We're into the 26th year since the circuit was opened. And of course, initially opened a Hermann Tilke designed circuit. Of course, he is famous for his F1 circuit designs, a number of them, including Shanghai International Circuit in China. It ran as the host of the Malaysian Formula One Grand Prix from 1999 to 2017, but of course, a popular staple for MotoGP. You've only got to look at the car parks of the Malaysian circuit when MotoGP is on, and the Malaysians certainly do love their motorcycles, so that has been a regular. We will see that return between the 1st and 3rd of November later this year. course, a beautiful circuit, 5,543 metres, 15 corners, a 927 metre straight. It has it all. Good mix of low speed, certainly the first yin-yang section, as they call it, very similar to the opening part of Shanghai International Circuit. Very tight right-hander, immediately into a left-hander, and then the long haul down to turn 4, the sweeping turn 3. So a good mix of slow, mid and high speed corners, of course, designed to test the elite of world motorsport with Formula One and MotoGP, and certainly has been a challenge for the TCR competitors over the many years. We've run both TCR Asia, TCR Malaysia, and of course TCR International has campaigned here in the past at Sepang International Circuit. Great test venue. A lot of teams in Asia are based here in this part of the world. A lot of factories over the back of the circuit. Teams that competed in all manner of motorsport, including the Vietnamese racing operation. They run the GT and TCR cars out of the garages at the back of Sepang International Circuit. Of course, one of the challenges of TCR Asia, unlike many other parts of the world, is purely the demographics and the reality of having to ship cars in and out. There's Nico and the team, the mighty Vietnamese racing operation, just keeping tabs on what's going on. There might be a few setbacks there. Of course, Douglas hasn't made the second leg of qualifying. They had that gearbox issue yesterday, and he'll be just trying to dial himself back. One of the nicest guys in motorsport worldwide is Douglas Koo, and a great operation, Sepang-based Vietnamese racing operation. But talking about the entries for this part of the world, certainly the travel that we have from country to country, Malaysia to Thailand is not too much of a challenge because the cars can drive across land to get from one venue to the next. But certainly for drivers outside of the landmass, it's about making decisions on whether you're going to enter the series well in advance. So your air freighting, which becomes very costly, but certainly sea freight. And for a lot of teams, they need to be making a decision about entering the championship months out as opposed to weeks or days out. The beauty of North America, and certainly here in Australia and also Europe, is you can make a decision to enter a series and you're sticking a car in a transporter and heading off overnight to get to the next venue. Here, unfortunately, that's not the case. So many of the teams that have signalled their intent to be a part of TCR Asia, we won't see until we get to Thailand in August. We're expecting a good half dozen to 10 additional entries to the series. Teams from different parts of the world, not just Thailand, not just Indonesia, not just Malaysia. We will be getting additional entries from around the Asian region, and that is certainly fantastic. As the world rebuilds at the close of the global pandemic. So that has had an impact and certainly has stalled things in this part of the world as TCR has taken over from those very early beginnings back in 2015 when we became the second ever TCR championship to begin anywhere in the world, the second event to TCR International Series, and certainly built over the following years, but been a bit of a handbrake for a couple of seasons as we look to get things going again. Umar Abdullah trying to get the absolute maximum out of the car, only a quarter of a second off the pace of the points leading Hyundai Elantra team yesterday. So he certainly showed that he has the pace to keep onto the tail of his rivals. And of course, Honda and the Jazz Motorsport operation have spent plenty of time here at Sepang International Circuit, and they will certainly be doing everything they can to help the Delta Garage Racing team try and improve their pace at 2:17.5. So that's actually set him as the pace at the moment. We've got 5 minutes left into this session. Of course, front-wheel drive, the transfer of weight across to the front of the car under immense braking often makes the car light in the rear. He just clipped the apex of the corner and the curb on the inside there at turn 14. That threw him wide. So we'll see a little bit of time lost for Abdullah as he ran through that lap. We actually saw, this is very much deja vu from the opening round. We saw a similar issue with that left front guard, the way the aero is set on the Audi RS3 LMS TCR, just broken a connector at the bottom of the bodywork there again. That happened to him last time round. We saw that flapping as he drove through the course. The team will no doubt fix that, and that may be as a result of some of the contact that certainly we saw that occurred during that first round for Budianto. The Indonesian driver was very impressive. Got involved in a few scraps, and what was interesting about TCR Cup last time around is just how close those drivers were. You can see just how hard he's pushing. The car just completely sideways. He's maintained his momentum in turn 8. He's continuing the lap on. So Hart at the moment has gone top at 2:17.0. Again, we're looking for 2:16.2 as the pace they set yesterday. You'd think conditions would be better. It's certainly cooler. The engine performance should be up on what we expected in the heat of yesterday afternoon during the second session. It also depends on the track condition. The Malaysian Championship Series have also had a run. So we often see scenarios where different brands of tyres can tear up any rubber that have been down. Of course, the higher performing TCR cars, they're a lot quicker than the local national series. All those cars on track, so they may well have torn the rubber up. So this will be a matter of conditioning, whereas late in that second session when we saw Zhang get down to a 2:16.2, that was an hour of the TCR cars running on the circuit in fairly warm conditions, so they would have laid some rubber down. The Salient Slicks have certainly proven up to the challenge of TCR competition. We saw that during the opening round, and again during this round as it's come to the line. Budianto at 2:19.4, well off his customary pace. We'd expect to see him a little bit quicker than that. Then we go back to practice sessions. Certainly during the race, no, he's at 2:20 last time round, so I might be selling him a little bit short. During practice, Budianto and the Audi turning laps of 2:18.7, so he's just locked away at 2:19.4, so a little bit more time left in him. But when you consider, well, talking about Zhendong Zhang, there he is, whilst I've been a little bit sidetracked, 2:16.289. Matches almost perfectly exactly what he'd done yesterday. Max Hart still in a 2:17.0. His teammate Dayan Wang with a 2:16.6. We've seen Max in the 2:16.7 yesterday. So Zhang's time yesterday at 2:16.27. Time today at 2:16.289. So he's only 18/1000th slower than his best of yesterday. Nice and smooth for Max Hart through there. Looks quite smooth, almost looks like he doesn't have a pace. Either that or he's working on the analogy, no, we've got a red flag. That's exactly why he doesn't have pace. Now that's frustrating. He was on a quick lap and knows that he's capable of matching his tempo. You can see in the background, that was one of the Z Speed Motorsport entries beached in the gravel. Like it was down on the exit of turn 6 potentially. So we'll find out more about that. We may have caught that and see that shortly on a replay. But that really does have an impact, because not only does it force the drivers back into pit lane, and yes, of course the session can start, but when your lap time is at 2:16.2, you see the car in the background there somewhere potentially. No, it's not going to be resumed. So Zhang has taken pole position. That is of vital importance in the battle against his teammate. And for Hart, he will start behind him on the grid for this afternoon's opening race. Dayan Wang, another great run for him. At 2:16.6, he will be back on the front row of the grid. Umar Abdullah will start from position 4. Benny Santoso continues his great TCR Cup form to take the top spot. Pole for TCR Cup and position 5 to start this afternoon's opening race. Qiren Liu will start alongside him at 2:18.9, so 0.6 down. So you'd think Santoso's form will carry on. The Hyundai N by Z Speed entry. We're looking back down at what appears to be turn 6. It's the outside of the corner. He's come off on that transition from the fast turn 5 into turn 6. So that may well be Nanjiang. We'll just check on who's come back into pit lane. And yeah, Kieran Liu will start P6. Nan Young, who appears to be being pulled from the gravel trap, will start from position 7. And Budianto will start from position number 8 as we go into race number 1 this afternoon, the 10-lapper, 2:45 p.m. local time. So you're talking in roughly 4 hours' time from now. So there it is, qualifying. Zhendong Zhang on pole position at 2:16.2 from Do Yu Huang, his teammate, and a third of the Hyundai N by Z Speed entries, Max Hart in position number 3. Umar Abdullah from position 4. Benny Santoso, the top of the TCR Cup entries, in position number 5 from Qiren Liu, Nanjiang and Budianto rounding out the 8. They will start positions 1 to 8 for the first race. They will be reversed with Budianto taking the top spot for the second race tomorrow at midday. So stay with us this afternoon, about 4 hours' time, for round number 3 of TCR Asia from Sepang International Circuit.
Short.
Yes.
Okay, now all good. We just keep the same setup for later on the race 1.
Do you want me to just try a different headset? I've got a different headset. If you give me 30 seconds, I can try.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hang on.
Okay, and live, huh?